Hello, everybody, and welcome back into another episode of Nebraska Cornhuskers Live. I'm joined by special guest Anthony Grant. I can't thank him enough for coming on. We got a packed show for y'all. Live Q&A. So drop your questions in the chat as we go along, and we'll try to get as many of them answered as we can. Another thing, too, if you notice that I have turned on channel memberships, so that way, if you want to be a part of the channel, there's going to be incentives. And I'll be announcing kind of the incentives first, but $2.99 for the base one, $4.99 for the secondary tier, and the names. I got the names down. Came up with these names, and I have the Black Shirt Brigade is the second tier, and the 5-Star Corn Connoisseurs is the big tier, the $9.99 tier. So Big Red Loyalist is the first tier. So you can get a emoji next to your name and stuff like that in the chat. So without further ado, Anthony, I'm just gonna again thank you for coming on, and do you want to say anything to people before we start, or anything like that, or give an update on what's going on with you?
Nah, I just say it's nice to be on here and I'm saying, talk to the Husker family, and
For sure.
that's
Absolutely.
there.
Absolutely, man. So we were talking a little bit before about what's going on, Moobot, Justin, BA Coaches Show hopping in here. So we talked a little bit before about kind of how you've been doing in this off season and stuff like that, and how you're preparing in case you get an opportunity at the next level. Can you take us inside some of your preparation and what things you've kind of been working on?
Shoot, since the season and things like that, and me entering the draft and things like that, one thing that I've been doing, like, I'm saying, uh, the same old, getting my feet right, keeping my feet speed and I'm saying, my legs going. Also, working on a little bit of my upper body. My upper body is, I'm saying, little at times. So, I just been trying to hit shoulders and, chest and things like that, trying to stay, kind of, broad on my end. So, I can move appropriately,
For sure.
as I'm, I'm saying, running the ball and things like that. Just really just trying to stay in shape however that I can. And you know even sometimes I look through the old playbook and things like that, but I'm still trying to stay in the playbook. And I just like been looking at it just for a little bit, just whenever I get a chance, just look into it just as little as I can and things like that. That's
Absolutely.
probably something that I try to do it and things like that.
Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm happy that you're still looking for an opportunity, and you're working on yourself and continuing, to grow. So that's huge. So, a few people thanking you in the chat. Nebraska Rascal, thank you for having Anthony on the show. Thanks a lot for doing this, Anthony. So great guests. People appreciate you coming on, man. So thank you again. And I guess we can go ahead and, the main overarching question that I really wanted to ask, and what to you has been the difference? What was the difference in the culture between Frost and Matt Rhule? What were the differences that the big differences that you noticed, and what were some things that you think maybe Frost did well? If you could dive into that a little bit.
I mean, just from the times that over the summer and when I first got here in the spring, and the 3 games that Coach Frost had coached us, like, I feel like, I don't feel like that he was a very, very terrible coach, or, what I'm saying, like, falling into that thing of, Frost being a terrible coach. I felt like he was a pretty good coach. Like, I didn't, like, personally, I didn't have a problem with him. Like, I didn't think that he was like like the worst coach ever, or, what I'm saying, him being like, what I'm saying, this bad guy.
Yeah. And I get that a lot from
Yeah,
people who play with.
and like, I never really got a chance to, like, really, uh, see his coaching through, because you know what I'm saying. I only got a chance to see him coach for like 3 games. Well, coach me at that.
Yeah.
Like for me, looking at the perspective that I had when I was uh, watching him coach and things like that. So it was kind of like it was hard to see, what I'm saying,
Yeah.
where he was, during the season. And I mean, over the summer, like I felt like he was really, really, a good coach, and did exactly what he was supposed to,
Mhm.
as far as a person, and being like, intuitive, and what I'm saying, locked in into, what everybody was doing. Like, what I'm saying, he would come like, uh, over to, watch the running backs, and um, also uh, coming to office meetings, what I'm saying, and things like that. And, just interacting with us, what I'm saying, doing what a head coach is supposed to be, to do.
For
And,
sure.
I like, what I'm saying, I don't think that, what I'm saying, he was an overly bad coach. I just never really got to see,
Yeah,
exactly everybody before me,
that is true.
seeing from Coach Frost and things like that. So that's one thing that I think he, like, what I'm saying, he like was when he was a coach, like, for us and things like that. Well, for me.
Yeah,
And,
for sure. Was that
and
okay? Go
wait,
ahead. Yeah, continue.
you wanted me to talk about Coach Rhule, right?
Yeah, yeah. So just and then what did you see kind of in the transition to the first year under Rule? What were some of the things? What were some of the big changes, and what stood out to you?
I feel like when Coach Rule came here, like I feel like, what I'm saying, a lot of things got more serious. Or like I feel like also, what I'm saying, it being a new coach and stuff coming in, and like what I'm saying, people gonna like buckle down about stuff, and what I'm saying, really really get, locked in and things like that, like focusing and things like that. Um, but I feel like, what I'm saying, like really really looking into it, like, what I'm saying, I felt like he really it lived at the truth, like, what I'm saying, like, as far as getting all of us disciplined and things like that. Like I feel like he really really really, like, implemented that into like the team and things like that. What I'm saying, like, like starting from a basic standpoint to, like, you know, as us, as far as players, and then, what I'm saying, like, build, like, what I'm saying, just rebuilding us, like, what I'm saying, as players, like, like I feel like people go back and they look at, like, what I'm saying, like rebuilding the program and things like that, and, what I'm saying, what Nebraska is and things like that. But I feel like he started rebuilding us as players and stuff. And I thought that was really, a key thing of what he did. um what I'm saying, like, I felt like he really, I feel like he really has a good plan for, you know Nebraska, and what we're like, what we're gonna do as a, what I'm saying, as a family and things like that. I feel like he really, I feel like he really really has a good plan. And, what I'm saying, I'm all for him, like, what I'm saying. I,
Yeah,
I feel like there's nothing that, what I'm saying, that I'm against him on, like, what I'm saying. I want him to win. What I'm saying. I want my brothers to win. And, what I'm saying, I feel like I feel like, what I'm saying, whatever he's doing to Nebraska is, you know uh, definitely, pushing us forward and things like that. So
absolutely. What would you say offensively? What was the big transition offensively in their styles as well?
I felt like with Frost, I felt like it was a lot of, displacement, and, what we were doing. Like I feel like we were like kind of like, what I'm saying, like, not, you know well finished with what we were doing. Like I felt like we just had a lot of things like all over the place, and, what I'm
Mhm.
saying, not fulfilling to what we were supposed to do. And, you know well, not necessarily us not being able to, like, be like, more fulfilling and things like that. But I'm just saying, like, as far as like what, like our plan was, like going into the games and stuff, like I feel like, well, shoot, uh, yeah, I feel like, well, yeah, Mark Whipple, like I feel like, what I'm saying, he was a really good coach. He, what I'm saying, what I'm saying, he would want the best for us and things like that. But
Yeah.
like, what I'm saying, we were just everywhere, and things weren't, you know, uh,
Structured.
things weren't structured or anything.
Yeah,
And I feel like when Rhule got in, like things were more, what I'm saying, together, compacted, all together, and just, leading towards the better points and things like that. So
for sure. I feel like with Matt Rule, he kind of finds, he does what he does well. A lot of coaches are trying to transition with college football. I feel like Matt Rule keeps the elements of his foundation and what's worked for him,
yeah,
but adapts slightly to things like NIL, but adapts in a way that's still very structured, that he knows and that will work. But his foundational, setup for everywhere he's been has kind of been the same. Like he wants to build this really ground up foundation, and that way it's sustainable. You're not building kind of a house of cards. And so that's one thing I do like is even though he, left the game, went to the NFL for a little bit, he came back and he left right where he left off with the style of team and the culture that he brings. And like you said, I feel like he's very much I feel like before football, he wants to build great young men, and I think that's a big part of the allure because he's all about family, and community and all that stuff. So I feel like that's part of what he does well and why he resonates so well with the players and the fan base as well. So um, now I'm going to go ahead and kind of get into this running back room. Now we were kind of talking about before we came on the show, but with this running back room, and there were some questions earlier. So we had Ramir. It goes Ramir or Emmett or Ramir or Emmett or Gabe, and then Dante Dowdle. So can you give us some insight into the running back room and what each of these guys brings to the table that you remember?
yeah, yeah. Shoot. What I remember from, like, what I'm saying, the running back room, and what I'm saying, some of the guys and my dogs. Um, I feel like, always like when what I'm saying, looking at Ramir, uh and what he does, like I feel like he's a really mature, guy on the field. Like just the way that he plays, like he really plays as a like a vet, in a sense. And what I'm saying, like when you have a guy that's that mature, and what I'm saying, that invested into what he does, like what I'm saying, like what I'm saying, you're always gonna hit with him. What I'm saying, you can't miss with him
Yeah,
regardless. I feel like he's a smooth guy. He has good vision, good eyes. What I'm saying, like I really can't wait to see him let loose for real.
yeah,
What I'm saying, and he's what I'm saying, he's a real good person too. Um, and Emmett, like I said, Emmett, he has that really high motor. He's really like he's a really, you know um he's a real weapon. Like, what I'm saying,
yeah,
like
yeah,
when we were at practice like last year and stuff like that, like, what I'm saying, we'll be back there like kick return and stuff, or just, what I'm saying, uh at Indian things like that, man. We just, what I'm saying, we just getting down to it. And what I'm
yeah,
saying, I look at Emmett, I'm like, damn, like, what I'm saying, like, man, like, what I'm saying, I'm like 4 5 years older than this man. This man, like, what I'm saying, he's huge. What I'm saying, he running damn near as hard as me, man. I'm like, what I'm saying, like, and what I'm saying, he's huge too. And like, what I'm saying, just to see him, like, progress from, his freshman year with Frost, and then to, the first year with Rhule, like, it was just like, like I love to see the progression for him, and the talent that he has, and him just growing from, being, just being that freshman to, you know what I'm saying, what he's been doing. So, I really, you know what I'm saying, like love seeing that from him. And, you know what I'm saying, all the guys really, but, you know what I'm saying, I like what I seen from Emmett, you
Yeah.
know,
Same
and
here.
then, yeah. And then I say Gabe, Gabe being, you know what I'm saying, this is our second time playing on a team together, because, we both came from Buford and things like that.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
watched me as a senior ball and things like that. So it was just like,
So his little brother is his little brother at Buford
yeah, his little
with
brother
with
Buford too.
Dayton.
Yeah, with Dayton.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
yeah, I know. I seen the same thing. I was like, man, I just want to see. I want to see Dalen and Gabe ball now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but nah, and Gabe, I know he struggled with like injury and things like that, but like I feel like he's he's understanding the seriousness of what he has to take on with him coming back from another injury. You know what I'm saying? It's just seeming like injury after injury, so it's just like, what I'm saying, what do you do at that point?
Yeah.
But like, he's understanding now. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's mature. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the whole room is mature, honestly.
Yeah.
And I feel like, last year, from his freshman year, when he started and things that like that with Adrian, like, and well, he used to show me some of his runs and like on film and stuff like that, practice film and game film. So it was like, you know what I'm saying, like from then to like last year, like I don't know if he understands or not, but that, like, it's a really really lot of, like, you know what I'm saying, progression of what he's made. Like I feel like he's really really, you know what I'm saying, came around the you know what I'm saying, the better way. And you know what I'm saying, the more superior way. Like I feel like, you know what I'm saying, if he locks in and just, you know what I'm saying, like keeps getting therapy, and, you know what I'm saying, like
Mhm.
keeping his body held up,
Yeah.
like I feel like he'll really really be, you know what I'm saying, well off,
Yeah.
and a really good back for us this year. Like I don't honestly, I don't see why they should play, you know what I'm saying, 3 to 4 backs. Like, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I feel like it can happen. Like,
Like, I
straight up.
think Quentin Ives can have a role in this team, even coming out of, like, a little slot role too, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah, nah,
Yeah.
he too. You know what I'm saying? Slot, special teams, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Putting him in on a package, like he's a really shifty guy. Like, and I feel like he's mature too. Like, I feel like he can play, you know what I'm saying, versus the guys in the Big Ten too.
Yeah.
Like, he has the talent. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, like, and he's really shifty, you know what I'm saying? So that can be a weapon also.
Yeah.
Uh
Absolutely.
yeah. And
And good. Go ahead.
shoot. And Dante, I actually watched some. I watched some of his highlights and things like that. So like I seen what he can do too. I know he's been coached by Coach Locke, and Coach Locke, he was at Florida State when right before I left in 2020,
Gotcha.
and Coach Locke, he was probably one of the ones that took me under his wing when I was coming back. I was overweight and stuff like that. So he was one of the ones that like really took me under his wing, and, you know what I'm saying, he had faith in me, like, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
despite of me being, you know what I'm saying, out of shape and stuff, like, you know what I'm saying, he has that dog mentality, like, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying, he really really really, you know what I'm saying, loves his players, love what they does, and, you know what I'm saying, like, really really, you know wants his players to succeed. So, I know what type of coach he was, and for Dante to, be a freshman and be coached by him while he was at Oregon and things like that, like, that was something, you know that I took into key.
Here's the
as
forecast for
as
tomorrow in Lincoln. Look for intermittent clouds with a
That's
high
all
of
good.
92 degrees
and
Fahrenheit.
I'm sorry, that's
Oh,
Alexa.
you're good. You're good, man.
Yeah, the Alexa speaker came on, but nah. And then, yeah, just like really just as far as like, you know what I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying, he runs really really hard, and he runs, you know what I'm saying, like, like, I really really love his running style, like, if you know a really hard runner, like, you know what I'm saying, he's like the splitting image of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's really hard. Like when you look him in the face, like he don't look like
Yeah.
that runs that hard, and you know what I'm saying, is that much of a dog. But
He's
like,
secretly explosive. He doesn't look intimidating until you get hit, until you get hit by him.
exactly. So like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? I really think we got some really good running backs and stuff like that. But you know what I'm saying? I never went to practice or anything like that, or seen him practice or anything like that. But I feel like he'll be really, really, really good. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, he's only a sophomore too, so I feel like really a lot of potential to be good. So
Absolutely. And kind of what you were talking about with the injuries, I don't know if people realize, like, I had 2 ruptured biceps. I ruptured my right bicep boxing, and a year apart. I re-ruptured it a year apart. And like, I don't think people understand just like how much of a grind and how hard that is on you mentally to have to sit there and do the rehab. The rehab's boring. It's a lot of nonsense. Like, it's not fun stuff. But I feel like players like Gabe, like Fedoni, those type of guys are just that much stronger mentally because they've battled through that and they understand how quickly, that can be taken from them, So that's another aspect that I don't think people pay attention to, is how mental it is and how much that can strengthen you mentally. One question you hear, and of course we got to talk about the run where you ran over the dude and knocked him out, basically. All right, take me through that play, please.
Shoot. All right. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, coming into Rutgers, like, I knew that their linebackers was fast, like, you know what I'm saying? And all they were doing was just keying me. Like, I knew they was gonna key me that game. So like, you know what I'm saying? I knew that like they were, you know what I'm saying, they were really fast linebackers, you know what I'm saying? And they were all playing the run. So like, you know what I'm saying, I knew it was gonna be like hard for me to run that game. It's gonna be trouble for me. So like, you know what I'm saying, I went to like, I was like, well, they're not gonna have to use me in the passing game. So like, you know what I'm saying? So I got the ball a couple times, and you know what I'm saying. Of course, I was thinking that, you know what I'm saying, I was gonna break one or something like that. But like, you know what I'm saying, I'm like, shoot, I might need to, get a swing pass or something like that. And the first drive before that, it was a situation to where, like they threw me a swing, and I got the ball, I made one miss, and then I hit the sideline, and I hit like a little spin move or whatever. So like the play that it happened, like, you know what I'm saying, like so the linebackers, they were biting in, everybody was biting in, and they had really fast defensive linemen. So like, you know what I'm saying, I'm like, I told Casey, I was like, shoot, you know what I'm saying, if you know what I'm saying, if no one comes, like, because the linebackers, like, they were really fast, but they would sit in the box, they would drop back vertically.
Yep.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So once I seen that, I was like, Casey, like, you know what I'm saying? Still use me as a, you know what I'm saying, as an outlet, you know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? Take the sack, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you still have me as an asset. So like, you know what I'm saying? So I told him just keep me in mind or whatever. So like, he was like, all right, all right, so when he said hut, he dropped back, and you know what I'm saying, I checked my read progression, and after I checked my read progression, you know what I'm saying, I took the swing, he threw the ball to me, and you know what I'm saying, like, all I seen, like, you know what I'm saying, anytime I got the ball in my hand, like, I'm thinking reckless abandonment. Like,
Yep.
I'm thinking
inviting contact.
I have to make something happen. You know what I'm saying? So like, he you know what I'm saying, he tossed me the ball. Once he tossed me the ball, like, I seen the safety, and I seen like linebackers flowing. And you know what I'm saying, Coach Brown, he always told me never to run out of bounds. Like, he told us, if we run out of bounds, then we not, you know what I'm saying, we're not held up to the standard.
Yeah.
Like, all right. So he tossed me the ball. I seen the safety, and I wasn't gonna run out of bounds. So I just, you know what I'm saying, like, honestly, I thought he was gonna give me more, but
You're like, it's either him or me, right?
yeah.
But either way, you were ready for it.
Yeah, no, I was for sure was so ready. I didn't think I was gonna do him like that though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
was over, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like I felt like his body torqued back a little different. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I lowered my, I ran him over in it. You know what I'm saying? If you know what I'm saying, that's just what it was. Like,
how'd it feel?
felt good.
Yeah, I was about to say it felt good, right?
Yeah.
It felt good. Yeah, that was crazy, bro. But like, I mean, like you said, like that, you know, that's why I found it interesting. You talking about other running backs running hard. I'm like, you of all people, you know, talk about running hard. Like you run harder than anyone really. Um, like I grew up on the Jerome Bettis's and the Mike Allstotts, you know, so like I just love like physical run game. And of course, Nebraska back in the day, physical run game. But it's interesting to hear kind of the breakdown of that play because we all remember that one all too well, man. That was fun. That was exciting.
Yeah, it was a good momentum swing for us too.
Yep, 100%. You know, just to piggyback on that with Rutgers, you know, and just talking about in general the teams that you know you faced and or saw, who would you say kind of are the most physical teams? Like I would say probably like an Illinois and a Rutgers. Like those two teams seem very, very physical to me. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I felt like, you know what I'm saying, Illinois is really, really physical. Um, you know, and you know, Illinois is even maybe more than Minnesota was.
Mhm.
Uh, but shoot, Rutgers. I feel like Rutgers was very, very disciplined.
Yeah.
You know, and they had a lot of speed. Uh,
Shiano's a great coach.
yeah. I feel like yeah, I feel like you know what I'm saying, they have like Rutgers has a really, really good scheme. Like I even watching them versus Michigan in 2020, like you know what I'm saying, like you know what I'm saying, they weren't scared at all. You
Yeah.
know, and like you know what I'm saying, there were some very, very physical teams. I would say Illinois is probably one of the more physical ones. Uh, And you know, so I honestly I feel like a lot of teams in the Big Ten are physical. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No one's just gonna back down, you know, from a team or, you know, be scared to compete.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like we're even, you know, I feel like with even last year, I feel like we're like, you know what I'm saying, we're pushing over like even more of, you know what I'm saying, like the hump of, you know, physicality and being violent, you know, having relentless effort and staying disciplined. Like I feel like we're like, you know what I'm saying, we're like even, you know what I'm saying? I feel like we're only progressing.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, playing in the Big Ten is always, you know what I'm saying, is always a win because we're like we're one of the Power Five, you know, uh, not Power Five, yeah, Power Five conferences. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, it's always good to play, you know what I'm saying, in a conference like this, and you know, finding your way through it, like you know what I'm saying. I feel like it's all a part of the game and you know learning experiences,
For sure.
you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, I feel like if I could do it again I would.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. And two, I was gonna say this earlier when you were talking about your run. It's either him or me. It's funny because a lot of people remember Chancellor Brewington's block on the goal line against Iowa on that outside
Yeah.
where he kind of laid that dude out, and he had a similar mindset. He was like, I was just locked in. I'm gonna hit this guy, and it's either him or me. So it's funny. I just thought the mentality's funny because it's the same way, but it's like you just commit and you're like, I'm running into this dude. If I get laid out, I get laid out, you know. So let me go ahead and oh yeah. So Colorado. Let's go ahead and talk some Colorado. That's always a fun discussion.
Yeah.
But you know, looking back at the game last year, you know, the way I see Colorado is they're a very athletic team. You know, they do have weapons, but I still think they're a little small in the trenches, and they turned over a lot of there's a lot of roster turnover. I feel like last year's game got a little bit out of hand just because I don't think people understand that that was a 3-score game going 2-score game even in the fourth quarter. And I think it's just hard at that point, to play at that altitude and, the defense to hold up. So I think that game got a little bit away. But, when it comes to Colorado, what is your kind of take on them and kind of what do you think we can expect this year?
I feel like Colorado is a very talented team. You know, you know, exactly. But I feel like they're not going to be a pushover as a team. I feel like Colorado is Colorado. They're going to do what Colorado does. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like with the right pieces this year, and us being able to play them at home this year,
Yeah.
and into our environment rather than us being in their environment and things like that. I feel like it's gonna turn around as a different game as a whole. I feel like with Coach Rhule, like we've got like uh, more of a look of what he is, and everybody on a different bonding level, and different players elevating and becoming better players and stuff like that. Like I feel like like I feel like we'll beat them this year.
Yeah. Me too.
Like yeah, I even the first year I know I didn't play because of the fumbling issue or whatever, but I feel like we should have beat them last year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not like they're this overly, like special team. Like I feel
Yeah.
like I feel like they got players.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, we lost him. We'll get him back here in 1 second. Let me catch up with somebody else's questions here. Let's see what's going on, Jackson. I appreciate you stopping in here. Moonbot, thanks for joining. Long way as always. Moonbot, Ken. Who's more explosive? Okay, I'll make sure I ask that question. Yeah, keep dropping your questions in here. And again, just to explain the membership tiers. Again, I got a $2.99, $4.99, and $9.99 tier. If you do want to just support the channel a little extra, it helps me out. And I'll have a lot of, you'll get emojis next to your name and stuff like that. In the first tier, the second tier, you will get access to Hangouts. You'll also get member shout outs, and I'll be doing also live streams for members only or members only comment sections sometimes just to keep on. So but yeah, let me go ahead and make sure he knows to just hop right back in 1 second. All right. Cool. Let me go ahead and go through some of y'all's questions, see if I can answer anything. Like a gimmicky offense, playing 2 QBs at a time. You have to play QB2 at the same times. Did he just pet a dog? If so, that's my, I'm a big dog guy. My dog joins me all the time. Maybe you have 4 great ones. Talking about running backs, probably the 4 great ones. We're waiting to find out who is the greatest. That is a good point. I with the running back room, I feel when we're talking, we got Anthony Grant back.
I'm sorry.
What's going on, man? Oh, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, my phone went dead. That was on my part. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
And just kind of to piggyback on what you're talking about, like it kind of frustrated me last year that you didn't play. The reason being is because I felt like the game plan in that game needed to be to really assert the dominance physically, because they were smaller in the trenches, wear them down over the course of the game, and kind of make them play our game. And I just think, the early turnovers when we were playing well kind of lended to playing more into their game and kind of forced us into playing their game. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. I felt like if we, if we made them play more of our game and made them play, you know, at our level rather than us, you know what I'm saying, having to play their game and play,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying,
Like
like
catch up. Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying, what Colorado does, like, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, like instead of it being like that, like I felt like, you know what I'm saying, if we would have made them play more of our game and made them, you know what I'm saying, play us up front more and things like that, like, you know what I'm saying, it would have been I feel like, honestly, like personally, I feel like it would have been like totally a different game. I feel
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, even without me playing, like I feel like we could have beat them by 2 touchdowns
Oh yeah.
or like I don't honestly I didn't think they was, you know what I'm saying, they was too much, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying, I feel like
And
they got some talented players who are like, you know
same
what I'm
thing
saying,
this year.
yeah. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, when it really comes down to it, you know what I'm saying, we talking about smash mouth football, we talking about, you know what I'm saying, like willpower, like I feel
Yeah.
like
Yep. For sure. And so let me go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm going to go through some of these questions in the chat real quick too. There's one more thing I wanted to ask too, because I'm very curious on this aspect. Looking at the Michigan game last year, right?
uh-huh.
To me, that was one of those games where it seemed like things went wrong at the start, and then from then on, it was just kind of like, I don't know, it was like the energy was out of the stadium and stuff like that. Is that more so just kind of, you know, us making mistakes to lead to a score that, because we know how good Michigan was now. We also know they're stealing signs. But looking back at that game, right? Because you look forward to Ohio State, and you look at this team and it's improved, and you want to think that we can stay in the game with Ohio State. But I feel like if things had gone a little different at the beginning of that game against Michigan, that game would have been a pretty good bit closer. We had the
Oh yeah, most definitely.
turnover. So what kind of goes into a game when it kind of gets, what kind of leads it to that point, in your opinion, when those games, and then what's kind of the feeling throughout those games, like, is it just hard to get fired back up, or, if you could just take me through that a little bit.
Mm. Uh, I feel like going to Michigan, I feel like we were really really ready.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I felt like,
The early
you know,
turnover.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that early interception,
Yep.
that had happened, like, yeah, that kind of like it switched the game, it flipped the game around, and
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying, it kind of like, you know what I'm saying, it kind of, everybody started putting their heads down thinking it's over after that one, turnover and things like that. And you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying, like, you sit back and think, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you can't think that it's over with right now. You know what I'm saying, you gotta keep, you know what I'm saying, you gotta
Yeah.
keep your foot on the gas. You know what I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, and
That
I just felt like, you know what I'm saying, like, a lot of people thought the game was over, like,
mhm.
as far as like player wise, like, you know what I'm saying, you start seeing people drop their heads, and you start seeing people like, like, dang, like, that's our only shot, like, you know what I'm
Even in the
saying,
crowd, like, it just seemed like the life got sucked out of the place.
yeah, yeah. But at that point you gotta, you know what I'm saying, you gotta lock in even more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a football game. It's a chess match. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, if you know what I'm saying, if you drop your whole strategy, you drop, you know what I'm saying, your whole game, then, you know what I'm saying, it's not gonna like be even like any better for us. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So like,
Gonna get worse.
after yeah. So like, after that interception and that turnover, like, I felt like, you know what I'm saying, people were like, dang, like, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna take off on this, like, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But like, in reality, like, you just gotta play football, man. It ain't
Absolutely.
nothing but football and people in positions. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? So like, it's
Just got to
like,
do your job.
yeah, do your job, and, you know what I'm saying, like, make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, you play football for a reason. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Why, you know what I'm saying? Why give up on, you know what I'm saying,
Yep.
the reason why you do it. You know what I'm
Agreed.
saying?
Yep. 100%. And, just kind of ask you about this a little bit. With the turnovers, being how the way they were last year, I talked about a lot on my channel how I remember, you know, even back when I played, not at a high level, of course, but
Mhm.
like turnovers are, I feel like they're a lot of mental, like, for instance, it's one of those things where you'll have a guy who doesn't necessarily have, fumbling issues, and he'll fumble a few times and it's kind of uncharacteristic. Do you think a lot of that has to do with pressure? And I know Matt Rhule said he just didn't coach it hard enough at the
Uh,
beginning of last year. Ron Brown kind of helped him in that, and he started coaching it better as the year went along. But how much of the turnovers are mental, and is there reason for optimism that we can point to this season to expect those turnovers to kind of go down a little bit?
uh, yeah, I feel like a lot of the guys are realizing that Coach Rule isn't going to tolerate like turnovers and things like that. So
Mhm.
like I feel like what I'm saying, they're kind of realizing that we can't afford these type of turnovers and things like that.
Yeah,
Like what I'm saying, we can't feed into the turnover like deal, and what I'm saying, letting that be a part of what we do. What I'm saying, and I feel like I feel like we're what I'm saying, we're gonna move past it as a
yeah,
team. Like
absolutely.
I feel like that I feel like Coach Rule is gonna get it, like what I'm saying, gonna get them right. Like I feel
Get 'em right.
like yeah, I feel like like he's really implementing the right tools, and uh you know g- getting them to gain confidence for like as far as like the eagle claw and them holding the ball, and what I'm saying, just
Getting all
being
the
just be
contact.
honestly just being better football players, like what I'm
Yeah.
saying, like I feel
Mhm.
I feel like that's all it's about, like
Yeah. Because he's trying to build, definitely a culture of development, and it is good that he had somebody with the experience like Ron Brown to be able to help him there, and he took kind of he took it on the chin, and he kind of put a lot of it on himself.
yeah,
He's just like, simply, I didn't coach it hard enough, and he didn't
yeah,
realize that till later in the season, and that's when guys got better with it.
yeah,
Um, so I'm just going to go ahead and kind of move forward a little bit in talking about kind of Heinrich Harburg, his role on this team. Can you give me a little insight into, because Heinrich seems just like to me, I wasn't as hard on Heinrich because Heinrich was in the tight end room the year prior, right? And to me, he's a athlete, like a super athlete that can throw like occasionally. I do, but he's just not. I don't think he's been able to work, because he's been so moved around throughout his
yeah,
career. He hasn't been able to iron out mechanics and the details, and he did improve between last year and this
yeah.
year mechanically. Can you give me some insight into the kind of player Heinrich Harburg is, and what you kind of expect from him this season in a more expanded role?
Okay. Um, I feel like H is, he's a really, you know, uh, relentless kind of dude. Like I feel like he's a real deal, dog when it comes to a type of player, which he is. Like I feel like he's really like a, what I'm saying, really good, what I'm saying, really talented, really good player. Like I feel like what I'm saying, I feel like he's a selfless like player. What I'm saying, I feel like he's willing to do whatever it takes to help the team win. Like what I'm saying, and I feel like he what I'm saying, I feel like his mechanics will come around better.
Yeah.
I feel like he will, what I'm saying, get better. When that's just what comes with competition, and what I'm
Mhm.
saying, to get better. Like I feel like he'll what I'm saying, be a good backup. What I'm saying, for us, and
Yep.
be the player that he's always been. What I'm saying,
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if they moved him. What I'm
Yeah.
saying,
He's
on
gonna
some on
be
some on some Wildcats and things like that.
Yeah, they've indicated that he's gonna be out there, at times too,
Yeah,
even with Rhule, yeah.
yeah.
So,
So I feel
yeah,
I feel I feel like he'll be. I'm saying, I feel like he's gonna be really good help. I
yeah,
feel like he's used to the game now, to see what he's done last year and things like that.
like a Taysom Hill.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I feel like he's gonna. What I'm saying, he's gonna be. I feel like he'll be better.
yeah, for sure. And it's hard. with all too well running the ball,
Yeah.
That many times, it takes a toll on his body, and he could put his body on the line for those first few games, but eventually those hits add up, and you get a little bit more timid, and that kind of threw him off his game a little bit, because that's the game he was used to playing, just being able to go and run through somebody, and he just got a little bit more timid because he took so many hits as the season went along. So
Yeah.
I'll get into some questions here for you. So Ken from Generation Red podcast, he says, what's up, Anthony? Who was more explosive, you or Ramir?
Ramir.
Yeah.
Shoot, I don't want to.
We won't tell him. We won't tell him.
I don't want to say. I don't want to say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like disrespectful or nothing like that.
Yeah. No, we're just having fun with it. Yeah.
Nah, I mean, I respect Ramir with all my heart, but you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to take the side of myself on this one.
You always got to go with yourself, right? Like you got to. Whenever anybody asks who's better, you or the other person, doesn't matter. It's you. You got to believe it.
You're never supposed to like tell somebody that they're better than you ever.
Exactly. Because then,
you say that, then you know what I'm saying, you are already wrong. You know what I'm saying?
You're speaking into existence. Like you gotta you gotta get that, like you gotta have that mentality to get there. Don't settle for second. But we won't tell her, don't worry. And Fong Wei here says, you always have family in Nebraska, Anthony. Once a Husker, always a Husker. So people really enjoying you being here in the conversation. Now let's go. I'm still kind of looking through some questions here. Great ones are the greatest. AG on, they weren't great though. Sorry, I'm catching up here. Just the conservative Husker, Gramstead got here late. Yes, Gramstead. To me, Gramstead wants to be a coach, and I think he's going to be a coach once he, departs. I think Matt Rhule is going to hire him as a GA. I just don't think. Yeah, he came in so late to have to learn all this offense, not going through the offseason protocol. That's why he's not in the top three. But I think Gramstead's going to be a leader. He's won before, and he's going to be kind of a coach in that locker room. So just to answer your question there. So I don't think Graham Shirt has a red shirt year left. So I think this is it for him. Just getting takes, bring the phone. I'm curious if he's heard anything on the focus of that this season from the boys still in. So one thing, Big Red Junkies that they didn't indicate is that, they're making it a point to really focus on the defense, trying to force turnovers. Therefore, that's going to make the offense a little bit better holding on to the ball. That brings me to another question, Anthony. How hard was it, to line up even in practice against this 3-3-5? Like how difficult is that to go against?
You're talking about Nebraska
3-3-5 defense?
You said a 3-2-5?
A 3-3-5, the kind of defense that Tony White runs.
Oh yeah. I feel like that's that's probably one of the most difficult defenses to run against. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it, because they have that extra hangout guy, and in a 3-3 stack, like I feel like it creates a lot of flow rather than people just filling gaps and things like that. So what I'm saying, the flow is kind of different, and it's extra DBs. It's an extra DB on the field, so what I'm saying, that makes things a lot of like it makes it a lot of it makes it a lot of harder to what I'm saying, to be able to also pass the ball, because there's 5 DBs, and also when running the ball, like what I'm saying, you got to be more patient, because they're gonna be what I'm saying, DBs flowing, what I'm saying, and what I'm saying, guys trying to what I'm saying, what I'm saying, set the edge and cut off the what I'm saying, the outside run and stuff like that. So what I'm saying, I feel like you know what I'm saying, that's a really, really, you know, especially with the guys that we have, like, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying, the
that's my
guys
next
in the
question.
middle.
I'm about to ask, like, who on that defensive side of the ball were you looking out for? Who maybe did you not want to hit you? Like, you know,
Ooh, I mean, shoot, I say, shoot, last year, like, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, I like toying with the DNs, like, as a running back, you know what I'm saying, that's what you want to do. But,
yeah,
you know, like the DNs, like, we got some good DNs, you know what I'm saying.
all right,
We got some really good fast flowing DNs, you know what I'm saying. But like, you know, it's probably difficult for opposite teams and stuff like that. But like, I say like, you know what I'm saying, like, I feel like Luke was a very solid player. Um, you know what I'm saying, the speed of Jamari, like Jamari has a lot of speed, but also like Polar Bear and Ty sitting in the middle, like, you know what I'm saying, that's like, you know what I'm saying, that's a scary sight. Like, you
some
know what I'm
big
saying, you don't want to
dudes.
run into them. You don't
Ty
want
is
to run into them.
huge.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying, they're well, you know what I'm saying, well healthy and fast also. So it's like, you know what I'm saying, like, that's stranger danger right there.
Absolutely. And another thing too, talking about the O-line, because I thought the O-line improved pretty significantly last year over year, and I think they're going to do the same thing this year. I think that's a unit. I think Rhiola's got them coached up the right way. So, you know, what was, you know, you running behind that line, did you feel like that offensive line was improved, even learning the new offense? Because what I tell people from time to time too is, like, the line's in a tough situation when you have a quarterback who's, you know, not really staying in the pocket, moving around because he's behind you, right? And so the play kind of changes over the course of, you know, when he starts to scramble out of the pocket. You got to be aware of that and stuff like that, and that really makes it harder on an O line. So, you know, what's your take on the O line and the improvements that they made?
I feel like as a O-line, as a unit, like, I feel like I mean, with Coach Rhule being, you know, the same coach being there, and, you know what I'm saying, like, they have their, you know what I'm saying, their unity and their family of, you know what I'm saying, guys and things like that. Like, I feel like they'll always be, you know what I'm saying, the true pipeline and the true, you know, bond that Nebraska, all, you know what I'm saying, always
Mhm.
has as O linemen. But I feel like, you know what I'm saying, they're realizing, like, you know what I'm saying, as time's ticking down, like, I feel like they're realizing, like, things are getting more serious, and things are, like, you know what I'm saying, like, more bigger roles for them. And
Yeah.
I feel like they're understanding that. I feel like they're understanding, you know, what expectations that they're having, you know what I'm saying, as a unit, and, you know what I'm saying, as a whole. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like they'll really bring it together, and you know what I'm saying, I feel like man, like, we got the guys, like, you know what I'm saying, we got the people, like, we got the size, we got the speed, you know what I'm saying. I just feel like we just like, especially in the like in the as a unit, as the O line, like, I feel like if we you know what I'm saying, really just get into that, you know what I'm saying, nasty mentality of, you know what I'm saying, just knocking people off the ball and
Yeah.
every play, and just being, you know what I'm saying, that dominant of the unit.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that'll like, you know what I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying, set us out for, you know, success, like, you know what I'm saying. And I feel like we'll well off be, you know what I'm saying, a lot more disciplined and better as a unit. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, they're continuously working, even when watching the, you know what I'm saying, the little highlight videos and things like that, like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, I feel like they'll really, you know, you know what I'm saying, set out to be better, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, and be more of a you know what I'm saying, dominant unit, you know what
For
I'm
sure.
saying, and just, you know, keeping everything together, keeping everything, like, you know what I'm saying, as a you know what I'm saying, as a,
Structure kind of flowing
yeah.
in their responsibilities.
yeah, as a, you know what I'm saying, as one, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know that saying, one, you know what I'm saying, one team, one heartbeat, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's where it starts. It starts in the trenches.
For
So I
sure.
feel like, you know what I'm saying, that they'll really come across, you know, the right way this year.
Absolutely.
I feel like they have nothing to hold back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Why not, you know, be what the pipeline about.
Yeah, exactly. It's you know, it's kind of they realize the standard is there, and I feel like they're kind of stepping up to the plate and just slowly developing to what you know. And I think this year they're going to show a lot as well. We got a little bit of a talk in the chat about start times of games. Okay, as a player, what was
Yeah,
your least favorite start time, and what was your favorite? So Big Red Junkies here. He said they
right.
should never have a game before 2:30. The more night games, the better. Yeah. So what's your take on the, you know? Give me your idea on the best time to start the game and the worst time.
So the best time to start a game, the best time to start a game is 6:37. Once you get
Yeah.
around that you know what I'm saying, time span, that's where you like, you know what I'm saying, that's where you getting the real feel, you getting the, you know what I'm saying, the best that's where the best feelings come from.
Yeah.
But I feel like, man, when it's like that morning, you just wake up, man. It's, you
Yeah.
know what I'm
You ain't
saying?
barely got breakfast in you.
Yeah, man, you eat breakfast, you still feel like you full, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
and then it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, but Husker Nation, they gonna show out every time. So, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You always gonna get that feel. But them night games, and you know what I'm saying, when they firing up them fire rides or whatever. That's
Yeah.
that's when you know what I'm saying, you feel like you in Talladega Nights, and a car race. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
love it.
that's where you really, you know what I'm saying, feel that big stage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying, regardless, I love playing in Memorial Stadium, and but you know what I'm saying, them mortar games, man, them things, man, you used to be tired coming out that thing. But nah, I was always ready though.
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah. It's one of those things that's like it sucks, but like you
Yeah.
know it's you got a job to do, right? And
Oh
it's
yeah, most
I
definitely.
mean, I want you know, people if they go to the gym in the morning, I want them to try going to the gym at night when they got a full day of food in them and
Yeah,
feel much stronger, you know, because you got all that glycogen in your muscles, like your body converts
yeah,
that to energy, so you got a little bit more in you.
right.
So so yeah, that's interesting. You know, I guess the last thing you know, I'll ask here, because he said 11 a.m. starts, Nebraska Rascal said 11 a.m. starts are terrible to have to play on the road. Can I just get your idea of kind of like, you know, home versus away, especially because
Yeah.
we just talked about the time. How big of a difference is it? You know, how big is home field advantage and does it really impact the players? Because Chancellor was telling me once you're on the field, you're kind of locked in on
Right.
that. So
Right.
what's your take on that?
Uh, I feel like, playing at home is always the advantage.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Playing in our home stadium, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just that home feeling. It's that
Yeah.
home love. It's that, that already sense of, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna win.
You get to
And
sleep in your own bed the night before.
exactly. And
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to take that late night flight back to, back to Lincoln and things like that.
Yep.
Um, but you know what I'm saying? And just really just, that love of playing on the field for real. Like, but you know what I'm saying, when you got to travel and stuff, and it's also morning games, and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, uh you know what I'm saying, you gotta fly there, go to the hotel, bus to the hotel, and you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying, do all this busing, and then right after the game, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
you got to fly right back.
The road. Yeah.
Yeah, so like, you know what I'm saying, it's like, you know what I'm saying, you be tired a little bit, but you know what I'm saying, if you love
Yeah.
football, man, that's what comes with it, honestly.
Yep.
But you know what I'm saying, there's honestly nothing like, you know what I'm saying, playing in Memorial Stadium,
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying, looking at all the fans as you perform.
Yeah.
So
What would you say the hardest environment you played in or most difficult environment was you played in?
most difficult, Shoot, I'll probably say the Michigan game, 2022 when it was snowing right before the game. Man,
No.
it was so cold, like my hands were frozen. You know what I'm saying? And like being from Georgia, like you know what I'm saying, like
Oh,
we get snow, but it was different type of snow. Like it was like you know
yeah.
what I'm saying. It was like man, I feel frozen. Like you know what I'm saying, like. But I mean, like after a while, you know what I'm saying. I got used to it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying, and I started like you know what I'm saying, getting you know heated, like more heated into everything and things
Yeah.
like that. But like man, the start, like you know what I'm saying, for warm ups and stuff like that, like man, it was so cold. It was super cold. But you know what I'm saying, I wasn't overly tripping about anything. Like
Yeah.
I just like stayed, you know what I'm saying, as focused as I can and locked in.
Yeah. And once you get out there, I'm sure you start flowing and you stop thinking about it until you get
Exactly.
back on the sideline and get cold a little bit. But you
Yeah.
know, I feel that 100% because I'm weak when it comes to the cold. I'm from Houston, Texas.
Oh, dang.
When I was stationed in the military, I went to the Middle East. I was over there for 3 years
Oh,
and Bahrain, and it was a little island off the coast of Saudi Arabia. I came back and I was stationed in Kingsland, Georgia. You know where it is?
Is that South Georgia?
It's literally, yeah, it's exit 1 from Florida. So it's literally the
Okay.
first right there on the coast, the first town when you come into Georgia. So yeah, it's just
Is
humid.
that by Florida State? Like going towards Florida State?
So I mean, it's literally like I do honestly like
That's
there's it's actually you'll pass through Jacksonville first. If you keep driving
okay.
straight through there, you'll end up in Jacksonville.
Okay. Oh,
Which is
dang.
where we used to drive to do stuff because there was nothing to do in Kingsland, Georgia.
Oh,
So,
dang.
but it's a really small town. So, but yeah, man, you know, we've hit our hour. I feel like I talked to you all day, man, but
Yeah.
appreciate you so much for coming on, man. Thank you so much. You know, it's been a great time. I appreciate you giving insight and being open, transparent about, you know, your time there and everything and giving us kind of an idea of what we can expect. So, can't thank you enough. And is there anything you want to say, you know, before you sign off?
Shoot, I'll just say, shoot, I love to be a Husker, and you know what I'm saying. It's always Husker power.
Yep, and let's get you to the Texans.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. I would love to be there.
I'm fighting for that, man. I'm fighting for that. I need you on the Texans. So,
Right.
but are you going to be at any games this year?
I might. Yeah, I'll probably come to some, man. Probably one or two.
Let me know if you go to the Colorado game. I'll be out there. And anybody else that's out there, let me know, and I'll come say what's up. So, again, Anthony, thank you a million times. I appreciate you. And yeah, with that being said, thank you everybody for tuning in. And like I said, you know, we'll be continuing the videos every single day as we get to the season and into the season. So, but yeah, other than that, I'm signing off, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.